The recession in 2008 was something that kind of caught us blindsided. We were doing well, very similar to the past couple years, and it was like a light switch went off in our market. Everybody just dried up, it went away, and 2008, 2009 was probably the most difficult years in our business.
The options for what you could do at that time were limited. We expanded into energy testing and energy audits and things like that for our customers.
We had probably in 2005 had 42 W-2s turned in. By the time we hit 2010, we had 11. So it was about a 90% drop.
The 2008 recession was hell for us. It was scary, sad, and very stressful. I had to let a lot of good people go. I stopped taking salary for several years. I stopped taking rent on my warehouses. Our installers took pay cuts 2 different times for 10% each time. And it was very difficult times, and I hope I never have to go through it again.
So by summer of that year, we had dropped by 50%. And by the end of that year, we had dropped by almost 80%. So we went from 160 employees, 5 locations, 5 long-term leases, $1.1 million a month to doing $300 a month between 5 locations. Being in business so long, we had been through multiple recessions. And my partner and I just kept saying, no, it's going to come back, it's going to come back, it's going to come back. And it just didn't.
The lessons that were learned were don't be overzealous, don't be too proud. Understand that times can be tough. You have to become lean. You have to do things differently in a market that's soft.
You have to realize, and you come to realize, that it's going to happen. It's often unpredictable. So you prepare all the time during the course of your business, and when there's a downturn, you're ready for it.
Number one was making sure you get all of your accounts receivables in order, because, you know, when things got tight, money got tight too. The second one, probably the biggest lesson, was in the trucks. We had all our vehicles were paid for, but when trucks sit around and you don't use them, they don't do very well. So we probably could have sold 5 or 6 of our vehicles, and we didn't. And then the last one, probably the hardest, you have to sit and start ranking your workers in a level of importance. And today, losing good workers, that would be even worse than 2010.
Sometimes a security day to work if you let your lien run out. The other thing is hire somebody to do your accounts receivable for you. Don't do it yourself, because you have a relationship with your builder. You get to be friends, and it's just hard to pull the trigger when he's not paying his bills. Cross-train your employees when you're slow. If they're cross-trained, you can probably find something for them to do. If you're slow that week, that's very important, is cross-training.
Collecting your money is, got to be right. It's got to be right there with keeping cash on hand, and always do what you say. Always under-promise and over-deliver.
I simply go and see how the subdivisions are going, see if there's slabs being poured or lots being cleared or new subdivisions going in. You can kind of get a feel for your market. It may not be a national approach, but for your local market, you can tell by the activity that's going on in your area. We follow truss trucks, we call them. You see trusses going somewhere, then you know there's going to be activity coming up. So that's how we do it.
Trade organizations, home builders, but we tend to find our customers and our vendors are our greatest resource when it comes to that.
So there's a lot of, you can talk to banks and see if they're loaning money to anybody. Your local building group will tell you. Real estate people will, that's another good indicator of how many houses are getting sold or not sold.
I always look at manufacturers in the area to see if they're laying off people. If they're laying off people, they can't buy houses. that's a key indicator right there. You need to start looking at doing something different.
You need to look at historical trends of the real estate market and understand that this business, the insulation, the construction business, is definitely cyclic. I can remember as a child, my brother was a mason, and I can remember going out and him showing me projects where they had just stopped construction. There's definitely a trend there that you need to study and you need to understand.
So you have to be ready to change the channel, to re-look at yourself and how you're operating, how you're watching your expenses, how you're doing everything in your business. It's a totally different deal, and unless you've been through it, it's hard to explain. And some of the people in the NFL have not been through it before because we've been really, really lucky.
When times are good, the way they have been, that you don't take it for granted. It's easy to lose sight of the fact that there will be a downturn. You don't prepare for it when it's in your face. You prepare for it now or when times are good, so you're ready.
Stay as debt-free as possible. I like to grow slow. I like to grow as I can afford to grow. Hold your margins as best you can and be proactive in your decisions.
Really, people in the office, your salespeople, even your professional people, watch those. I mean, bankers have had a good couple of years, but there's banks that aren't going to be around either coming forward. So, but I would say labor's number one, finances are two, and then your equipment would be three.
Nobody's going to start a business understanding accounting. Make sure you've got good advisors. Other than that, I can only stress that cash is king, and don't go into the business thinking you're going to get rich in a hurry, because it's not going to happen.
Listen to what we're telling you. We survived it.